At the same time, if you continue staying with it, at some point you find out that you're happy not because anything happened. You're happy because you find out there's no because. Just happy. And if you just not do anything, okay, now that's great, I got it. That's the next thing that happens. You see, usually we think doing something is punching it or pulling it. No, the other thing is hug it. That's mine, I got it. That's enlightenment. I'm all happy now. It's going to be like that. The moment we do that, we're interfering again. What does that mean? The moment I clutch to it, regardless, I talked about happiness, but it could be peace, could be fulfillment, could be, visited by an angel, or whatever it is. The moment we grab onto it, that means I don't believe that is what is here. I believe it's a visitation. I don't want it to go away. And if you believe it's a visitation, you're going to go run out, behind it or run after it. Simple as that. Enlightenment happens when we're 100% convinced there is no need to go anywhere. It is really right here. And you don't need to feel anything special. The special thing will happen as a result of that conversion. So it's really, what I'm recommending is something very gentle, and compassionate and accepting kind of way of being with our experience, whatever it is. Just like when we are a good friend and we're being with somebody. How do? You're always telling them what to do and what not to do, or you're just listening, patiently, being kind and open up, say things. After they tell you and they cry and they get mad, they feel fine. You don't need to do anything. You just need to sit and listen. Same thing with yourself. You see? Because that is the nature of our soul, of our consciousness. If we don't try to restrict it, if we don't try to bind it or direct it, it has its own intelligence and its own dynamic, creative holding and revealing what's about it, and it tends to reveal further and deeper components or dimensions of itself. Until finally it will reveal the love, the fulfillment, the peace, the thing that we think we're looking for. We basically just recognize it. That is something here, is a principle here also, that is missed by many people. And it is specifically missed by what are called non-dual teachings. Non-dual teaching, if you have noticed, some of you are smart enough, you probably noticed it, that when they're talking about the non-dual realization condition, they mean a particular enlightened state, but everything else is not it. Right? You're either in the non-dual condition, non-dual reality, or if you're not in non-dual reality, then you are in some kind of duality, and that's not it. That's how they look at it. If you read the text, that's how they look at it. And they're trying to get into the non-dual condition. Even though they understand that everything that you happen is really part of the non-dual condition. But they see it only, it's part when you're really there in the non-dual condition, where you're seeing everything is part of this underlying ground. When you see it that way, that you recognize everything is included in this non-dual condition. However, if you're not in that state, you're in a state of duality, and let's forget it, let's find the non-dual condition. And there are many methods and techniques that are very smart, that's all, very brilliant actually, some of them. And many of them are so good they can't do them. See, They're too smart for me, and it's mentioned usually. They are for the cleverest people, the most intelligent, the most developed, the almost saintly people. So that's why in our work we have developed the method for what I call the ordinary people. Middle range kind of people who don't have to be really smart, really advanced spiritually to be able to practice, which is, well, today I'm just pissed off. You know, I'm not a non-dual, I'm pissed off, you see, and I let myself feel pissed off. It doesn't mean I have to clobber somebody, but I let myself feel it, you see. Clobbering somebody is actually doing something about it. That will be interference, you see. It's obviously interfering with the other person's state, but that's not what I mean. What I mean, you're clobbering somebody so that you don't feel that way anymore. But the principle that I think tend to be missed by many non-dual teachings is that the non-duality is present whether we are in a non-dual conditions or not. Meaning, reality is non-dual. Non-dual means that everything that we feel, our sadness and hurt and our bodies and our cars and our thoughts and they're all really not that separate from this underlying luminous ground that people call spirit or true nature. It's all really part of the same thing. It's all bubbling out of the same ground, you see. So if you see that, that's considered realization or enlightenment or recognizing the non-dual condition. And one thing we see in our teaching is that because that is the case, because the non-dual condition is the true condition of reality, even when we are not experiencing non-duality, non-duality still exists. And because it still exists, I take any experience, if I just let it be, it will bound to be connected to the ground, because it is already connected to the ground. I might not see it that way. Many of the teachings say, no, anger, this is a poison, this is a passion, this is an interfere. You know, let it calm down. Let's do antidotes to it, or let's do something, transform it or another. I mean, you're not recognizing that if you let it be and it reveal its truth is directly connected with the underlying ground because of the fact that reality is non-dual. The fact that I'm not seeing the non-duality does not eliminate the fact it's non-dual. And because it is non-dual, whatever I'm experiencing is bound to be connected with this beautiful ground that all spiritual people are panting after. You see? Anything is really, and the connection usually doesn't necessarily arise at the beginning as a shaft of light, or some kind of an angel coming and telling you, yes, this emotion, if you really heed it, will take you to the promised land. Doesn't happen that way. The more it happens, the light, because the underlying nature is an illuminating light. What happens is that as we experience something, let it be, we begin to recognize it, we begin to know it, we begin to understand it. It begins to make sense to us. Our experience become a meaningful experience. I'm not just sad, there's a reason for the sadness. The sadness is connected with such and such and such a thing. And it's possible to understand that. And we understand that is a kind of illumination. And that illuminates light, it happens because of the non-dual condition. If it wasn't non-dual, there isn't a light there that appears as understanding. So the insight and the understanding that we can have, and the recognition, all of these things are really just the light breaking through. And since reality is really non-dual ultimately, doesn't matter what the experience is.